So I'm Josh Fieldstra, lead product specialist in North America with Native Instruments, and I'm going to show you guys a little bit about Kontakt 3. This is our third version of Kontakt. It came out just this last fall, and we focused a lot in this particular version of Kontakt, specifically on usability. Kontakt, of course, is already well known as a very reliable industry workhorse sampler. But in this version, rather than just purely add more features, what we wanted to make sure is to make this the most usable version of Kontakt yet. So let's just take a look at some of the things that we've done inside Kontakt. So the first thing you'll notice inside Kontakt 3 is that we've done some general redesign of the user interface. In general, the colors and the overall kind of look and feel are just more friendly in general. You'll notice kind of a lighter color scheme. But one of the main things you'll notice right away is the kind of look of this instrument. Here I've got a kind of a jazz guitar loaded. And as I play the jazz guitar, you notice I have all kinds of dedicated specific controls right on the jazz guitar. And this is what we call the performance view. And the performance view is basically a series of controls that are specific to that instrument. So in this instance, I've got the jazz guitar loaded, and so I have some controls in here to control the amount of noise in the jazz guitar. I can go into a legato mode. I can change the pickup position on the jazz guitar. You can hear what a radical effect that has on the sound. I can also do things like change the actual cabinet that the jazz guitar is going through. So if I want to, for instance, run it through more of a kind of British 60s kind of cabinet, and now I've got more of a British surf kind of sound to it. And the thing is that all of these controls are unique to the jazz guitar. So if I, for instance, load another instrument from the Kontakt library, let's choose, how about an organ. I'll load this one called the Whiter Shade. Now I've got an organ sound, and I have a completely different set of performance view controls on here. So we've made the library very, very easy to use. You can make quick changes to some of the basic sound parameters very quickly without necessarily having to go into the edit mode for that instrument. So we've improved the usability quite a bit from that aspect. Something else that we've done inside Kontakt 3 to make it more usable in general is we've changed the way that you use the database inside Kontakt. I can actually directly search for things right inside the database. I can say, hey, I'm looking for an electric piano. So I'll just type the first few words. I've typed ELECTR, and I've pulled the first 3 electric pianos right away, and I can immediately just grab one and drag it in. And now I've got my electric piano. So you can find sounds very quickly and easily inside Kontakt. Another thing that we've done to kind of make it easier to find sounds and load them and play them much faster is we've changed the database browser around a little bit here so that you can actually see all of the instruments that are loaded inside Kontakt. So let's go back a minute ago. I had a nice jazz guitar sound loaded. I'll go and load that again. Directly into Kontakt. So now I've got an electric piano, I've got a jazz guitar. Let's load another one to give us just a few additional instruments to work with. I'll load a synthesizer patch this time. Let's load a bass. So now I've got electric piano, I've got jazz guitar, and I've got this bass sound. If you look down here on the lower left, I can actually see kind of the roadmap for all of the instruments that I currently have loaded into Kontakt. I can see the electric piano, the jazz guitar, and the bass sound, and I can actually solo them and mute them right on here. So if I had, 18 different instruments loaded in here at once, I'd be able to switch between them, solo them, mute them in very quickly. But what's more, if I'm in edit mode for electric piano, I can actually switch between here which sounds I'm editing currently. So it's kind of an overview of all the sounds I have in Kontakt. Once again, just making it easier to get around, load things, and edit them, kind of back to the basics, and making Kontakt really easy to navigate. So now, of course, we wouldn't be Native Instruments if we didn't also give you some great sounding features. So what we've also done is added some new effects inside Kontakt 3. So the jazz guitar that I was using earlier, you saw how I was using the performance view to switch between cabinets. The cabinets themselves are actually something new to Kontakt 3. We've taken some of the awesome sounding technology inside Guitar Rig 3 and put it directly inside Kontakt. So here I'm switching cabinets. These are cabinets taken directly from Guitar Rig 3. Or let's add some distortion to this jazz guitar patch. no longer a nice mellow jazz guitar, now it's a full-on distorted guitar. That distortion effect is taken directly from Guitar Rig 3, and that's the Screamer stomp pedal.